Explain to me this. Why did Jesus hang out with sinners? Isn't Jesus God and God hates sin? So why hang out with sinners? Think about that for a moment. Now, in reference to people who were upset that Jesus was hanging out with sinners, Jesus said this: I want mercy and not sacrifice. But what does that mean? I asked you all on Facebook and Twitter what you thought, and here is what you said. Hello world, my name is David Dorn and this is PREPOSTEROUS, which is not your typical Bible study. Can I make an observation? Sinners are people, right? You sin, I sin, we all sin. Doesn't that make us all sinners? Now, I believe the shock and awe factor of Jesus hanging out with sinners was because these people were marked by society as being pretty bad people. They were corrupt business people and prostitutes. The thing is, though, these people knew what they did and that they needed change in their lives. Do we have the same level of self-awareness? But I love this. The creator of this ever-expanding universe became a human, this little insignificant part of the whole picture, and he hung out with the rejects. Check this out, Matthew 9 through 13.
As Jesus continued on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at a kiosk for collecting taxes. He said to him, "Follow me." And he got up and followed him. As Jesus sat down to eat in Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners joined Jesus and his disciples at the table. But when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" When Jesus heard it, he said, "Healthy people don't need a doctor, but sick people do. Go and learn what this means. I want mercy and not sacrifice. I didn't come to call righteous people, but sinners."
The only truly righteous person ever to walk this earth is kicking back with the most unrighteous people around. And the religious leaders were having a fit over it. Now let me ask you this. Does your church accept the most unrighteous people in your neighborhood? Do you? Jesus did. Now let me give you some context to this passage. The Romans would hire local people to collect their taxes for them. So they would hire Jewish people to collect their taxes from the other Jews. Now no one likes to pay taxes, and even more, no one likes to be cheated when paying their taxes. And that's exactly what the tax collectors did. They cheated. Say if the Roman tax per family was 50 denarii, with the tax collector receiving 2 of those denarii as their payment, they might charge you 75 denarii and not tell the Romans. They would collect 25 denarii on top of the 2 denarii the Romans were already giving them. Everyone knew that the tax collectors were cheating them, but the tax collectors had all the power because they could throw you into jail if you didn't pay. Needless to say, people didn't like the tax man. But then Jesus calls Matthew, a tax collector, and says to him, "Follow me." So Matthew gets up and starts to follow Jesus. Now Matthew, a dirty, rotten sinner, has Jesus over for dinner and invites all of his other sinner friends. So all of these sinners are hanging out with Jesus and having a great time. Does that change the way you think about Jesus? It certainly did for the uptight religious leaders of his day. Do we ever remove the human element to Jesus? I mean, how often do we think of him as so pristine, so distinct, even distant from us regular human beings? But God became a man so he could be one of us, spend time with us, love us, teach us, heal us, and redeem us. And he even had a good time with us. You see, a doctor doesn't treat the well. He treats the sick. Jesus spent time with sinners because they were the ones who recognized they needed him. The religious leaders felt like they had their own salvation covered. So Jesus spent time with people who wanted him because they knew they needed him. Have you come to the same conclusion? Now let's shift focus to Jesus' line, "I want mercy and not sacrifice." He addressed this to the people who were trying hard to earn God's love, to be perfect in everything that they did. You see, Jesus cares very little for trying to earn his love. Instead, he cares a great deal for our compassion for other people. You can love Jesus until you turn blue in the face, but until you start loving and caring for people like he does. Jesus cares very little for what you give up for him. So do you spend time with sinners? As a Christian, you should have a Christian community, a church that you call home. And you definitely should have Christian friends to support you and do life with together. But you should spend time with sinners, with people who don't know Jesus. Why? Because that's who Jesus spent time with. They need him. And as a Christian, you are the face of Jesus that people see. So people need you. Now, you do have to be careful when spending time with people that you don't get sucked into their sin or develop their bad habits. That's why a core group of good Christian friends is a must. But you can't reach the world for Jesus when you are at arm's length with everyone. Jesus ate with sinners. In fact, they loved having him around. Be like Jesus. Now it's your turn. What blows your mind when you think about God? Is there something that amazes you, or maybe something that you just can't get your head wrapped around? Leave it in a comment or a video response. I'd love to see those and interact with those. But be like Jesus. And what does that look like for you? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed Preposterous, make sure you like this video and share it on Facebook with your friends. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. As always, if you have any questions for me, you can tweet me at @IamPreposterous. And if you're a small group leader and would like to use Preposterous for your small group, you can sign up on our website at preposterousproject.com. God bless.